The Hunchback of Notre Dame, Chapter 6. I was helpless in the hunchback's powerful grip. I closed my eyes and waited for death. I heard Esmeralda scream and Jolly's loud beating. Then I heard another noise in the alley. It was the sound of horses' hooves and men shouting. Suddenly I felt myself falling. Quasimodo had dropped me as if I were a hot coal. Down I fell, but not hard. Luckily for me, I landed in a soft pile of garbage in the street. I looked up to see the light from a dozen lanterns filling the alleyway. I watched as a group of the king's guards moved quickly toward Quasimodo. All of the soldiers were on horses. Some of them carried lanterns. In the light, I could see the hunchback. He was completely surrounded by these soldiers, but he was still fighting. One of the men threw a rope around the hunchback. Quasimodo struggled, but it was useless. Even his strength could not break the rope that was twisted around him. Two of the soldiers jumped off their horses. They knocked Quasimodo to the ground and tied his hands behind his back. "We've got him, sir," said one soldier to the leader. I recognized the man who commanded the soldiers. He was the knight named Phoebus. He looked down at the hunchback. "Oh-ho, this is new," laughed Phoebus. "Quasimodo, the bell ringer, is now stealing women." Poor Quasimodo could only moan. He had tried to kill me only a moment ago, but now I felt sorry for the hunchback. Those captured by the guards were often mistreated. Some were never seen again. Esmeralda ran up to Phoebus and grabbed the reins of his horse. "Thank you so much. You saved me from that monster," she told Phoebus. The handsome knight smiled down at her. There was a gleam in his blue eyes. He took her chin in his gloved hand. "I can see why Quasimodo would want to steal a pretty girl like you," he said to Esmeralda. She blushed in the lantern light. "Hop up on my horse, girl." Phoebus reached down and took Esmeralda's hand. He lifted the gypsy girl onto his horse and placed her in front of him on the saddle. Phoebus called to his men, who were tying up Quasimodo. "Take the bell ringer to the bailiff. He will stand trial for trying to steal this woman." With that, Phoebus turned his horse and rode out of the alley. Jolly bleated once and followed the knight and Esmeralda. The other guards pulled Quasimodo up off the street and led him away. I watched their lanterns as they walked down the alley. Soon it was dark once more. No one had ever looked twice at me. I felt as if I were the king of fools. "What a clumsy hero I am," I yelled at myself. Here I rush to save the beautiful Esmeralda and almost get killed doing it. Then a handsome knight rides up and steals her. They both ride away while I'm left to sit on a pile of garbage in a dark alley all alone. But unfortunately, I was not alone. At that moment, grimy hands reached out from the shadows. Men grabbed me. Someone put a sack over my head. I fought, but there were too many of them. Hands lifted me out of the dirt. "Let's take him to the king," someone muttered. I heard other voices, but could not make out the words. "Hold him steady," said someone behind me. I felt a sharp pain on top of my head. Then blackness, darker than any alley, claimed me.